I always try and make stuff that people who maybe have never been into an art gallery or a theatre can understand what they're seeing. Hi, my name's Keith Khan. I am an artist. I work with all sorts of elements, including digital animation, digital drawings, textiles, performance, music. I work collaboratively, but this is my base. This is my studio here in Girona, like a big candle. Girona, you know, it's sunny, it's friendly, food's great, so there's lots of cultural reasons that I've benefited from that enable my creativity. Longer hours, a lot of sun, a lot of air. It's all really good, stuff that doesn't happen in London. Well, a lot of my work as an artist has been rooted in a conversation about my own identity, because yes, I look Indian, but I am Indian, but my family is from Trinidad in the Caribbean, and this story of Indians, the Caribbean and identity is one of the major themes that I've followed in all of my work, from like the textile pieces through to the performances and where I've come from. And I think if I wasn't Trinidadian British, I think my work would be very, very different. I should talk about this actually. I started making these pieces very much to do with a story about the Caribbean and Trinidad and its relationship to indigenous cultures. So that it's kind of digital, but it's also very like a face. I mean, I came into art from a very practical side of things. I never came in thinking I was an artist like top down, because I always made things very practical. My family's very practical, so I always wanted to make something that they understood rather than something that the external world understood. So doing stuff that was recognizable, which is I guess where the costume and textile stuff started, because that was an easier way. My grandmother was a tailor, and there are lots of sewers in my family. So that was like, oh, I can see what they're doing. That seems to be a good way to making things. And I would have always thought I was more of a designer, more of a instigator, getting things made and done. It's the art world that defined me as an artist. I don't think I would have defined myself as an artist. This was made for Leeds 2023. This fabric contains 33 motifs. Each motif is proportionately the size of the ward in the geographical area in Leeds it was. And it's produced as fabric, but it's also produced as a digital animation. And it tells the story of all the conversations I had with people in Leeds. I do like doing things purely by myself, and I think that this digital age you really can do stuff purely by yourself, which you couldn't do before. But I do really enjoy bringing ideas together with lots of people and lots of different ideas. I think when it's entirely selfish, I don't see any point in art. Basically, I'm trying to tell the story of people, my story, I guess, to a wider audience. And my ideas don't come from a single place, and they often come from a place that's complicated because the world is complicated and because the audience I'm making the work for is that. So that's why I cross all these media, because I want to find points of access that people outside can understand from. So that's why drawing, for example, is a very great way of storytelling. Right, got it. I was always influenced by Persian miniatures and the fact that every surface is patterned and you don't have a particular point of focus. So none of these really have a central point of focus, and they all rely on it being read as a flat space, which is the digital world as well, because we constantly look at our screens. Being an artist now is such a challenge, and I think people need to focus on what they're making their art for, rather than what it is. People are very privileged now, and I'm in terms of sometimes very protected by the art world. And actually I'm very interested in people that are a bit messier about their economy, who have to do multiple things and make a living in that way.